Hi, everybody. This is Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is August 25th. It's Sunday. And today I'm going to do a little bit of an update on Donald Trump. I just didn't want to put him in my intro 'cause who wants to see that? And oh my God, I'm still on a high from the convention. Did everybody watch that? I got to watch all 4 days of it. I missed some of the earliest speeches, but I was able to watch it from like six or no 7 or 8 or something like that. I missed Dana Nessel's speech, but I heard about it. But I saw the later ones, and oh my God, from the very first night, oh my God, Kamala Harris and then Biden, and there were so many. I thought, how could they top the first night? Like that was enough. That was like the throw the mic down night. And then every following night, just as good. And it made my heart sing. And I watched some of the behind the scene stuff, like with Adam Mockler and Noah, that little 12-year-old who was just so brilliant and uh, hands down won won an argument with Mike Lindell. It's probably like emotionally a 10. My mind was blown. It still is. And my heart is just full of happiness and hope. And what a beautiful thing! All the people who were there sharing that amazing energy, that electricity. I really wanted to be there. I'm sure we all did, but it was so lovely, beautiful that it just uh, we were all able to tap into it, watching it from our phones or our laptops or our televisions. So, oh my goodness, I don't know if it's like I've been close to tears about it, since it started. Now it's over, but it feels like the energy is just carrying on. It has to carry on because we have to be an avalanche or a tsunami to win this election solidly, and which I think we will. And I think also partially, or one of the reasons that my guys wanted me to read this particular, or do Trump on this particular day, I should say, is to assure people, to give them even more hope and give them a glimpse behind the scenes of what's going on with Trump, because that bravado. I saw the polls and I'm winning. All the lies he makes up when clearly, even though I don't really like to follow polls because I think so many of them have been manipulated in the past, but I think there's just such uh, um, a sea change and uh, what's the word, that like an overflow of optimism and excitement and enthusiasm towards Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the Democratic uh, presidential and VP picks, that they can't really do that. Like the polls are just so much in favor. But Trump, of course, what do narcissists do, and grifters and liars? They just say the opposite. And but Trump has, is looking pretty bad, right? He's just physically bad comparatively to what he normally looks like, which is not so good. In my Sorry to be judge him on his looks, but he says he's better looking than Kamala Harris, right? Oh my God. So here we're gonna look at what's going on right now, like a screenshot, and I'm using the Sarah Markelli Gilded Tarot for the reading. And then a card from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle deck. Okay. So the card, of course, is the devil, the orange Cheeto. This is interesting. The guides are saying this is like Trump melting down. There's a picture of him. I think he did a rally on the border in, was it Texas, New Mexico, somewhere like that. And it's like 104 degrees and people are needing medical attention because it's so hot and like 100 or something. And he looks terrible. His makeup is melting off and uh, he looks like he's a wax candle melting down, basically. So that's him. This is Trump right now, and emotionally melting down and mentally melting down. It's like this fire has served him in the past, but now it's overcoming him. It's going to melt down into it. Above, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have two cards with this. So one of them is this. This is not the above. This is alongside his subject card. This is the Nine of Swords. So the guys say this is Trump terrified. He's terrified of going to jail. He's terrified of Kamala Harris. She scares the hell out of him. And here he is up at night and, doing this ridiculous um, tweets but he's really, really frightened and he's also frightened because he's going to lose his money. He thinks he's going to lose everything and what's going to become of him. And, he can't bear it, the idea of going to prison. But to cover up his fear, he gets even more on the attack, more aggressive, uh, more vindictive. And that is his go-to stance if he's scared. Then he's going to show the world the opposite. I'm going to deport 1 million immigrants as soon as I get in, these kinds of things that he thinks they're going to win people's hearts and minds. Above here is the media. Three of Pentacles and the Magician. And they're doing everything they can to spin this, and it's like spinning out of control. But we're still getting the Magician. We're still getting this false presentation of like trumping a viable candidate and the normalization of Trump. Working furiously hard to do this because, and I've said this in my past videos, and I think it's pretty much out there now. The media, like 90% of the media is owned by corporatists and Trump supporters and foreign money, foreign countries, Russia and Saudi Arabia and North Korea. And this is what they got. This is a weapon that they use to support and to try to get their candidate Trump elected. And so they're furiously trying to spin it. In the past, this is the Four of Pentacles. And in this instance, my guides tell me that this is Trump with limited resources. So like the money's drying up, even though he, yes, Bobby Kennedy threw his hat in the ring with Trump, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, etc. I mean, there's money there, but it seems like it's less and less. And the reason for that is because it's being siphoned away. Trump holds on to his money. He doesn't pay his venues. He doesn't pay his attorneys. He's so tight with his money, and that's a huge issue. He put Laura Trump in charge of the RNC finances, and the directive, as far as my guides can show me, is siphon as much money as you can towards me, my legal fees, and I think he's like a squirrel right now, trying to squirrel away funds, because if he loses, then he doesn't have access. Of course, he's got the grift and this empathy and sympathy of his followers, but that's small potatoes compared to what he really needs. Plus, he hates spending money on these kinds of things. He'll waste tons of money on bad business ventures, etc. But this is him holding on to money and trying to get money. Below this is the Seven of Swords. Um, so this is the grift. That's what the guides say. He's still grifting. What's it, this election? You know, selling whatever he can muster up, like those pictures of his assassination, and now there's like signed, uh, what is it, mugs and whatever. There's all kinds of ridiculous, weird um, merch around that picture of him after he allegedly got uh, uh, um, winged or whatever by a bullet, and it's continuing. Like, what else can I grift now? This is and this is desperation because there's not that much left to grift, but he's still looking back to see what he can get. So the future, the guides show me not just Trump, but like everybody. It's like everybody in his campaign here, people, Vance and Kennedy now, etc. They're really worried about losing this election, and their disappointment. There's disappointment. There's unhappiness regarding just the clown show of that continues to spiral out of control of this campaign. And as a result, everybody starts to fight amongst themselves, blaming each other as to why this is going so awry. And that this might be Trump in here, Vance, Bobby Kennedy, Elon Musk, and maybe Peter Thiel uh, going at it, and others too. But instead of being a cohesive unit and trying to salvage as much as they can and moving forward, that's not what happens because they're all so narcissistic and they're in it for themselves. There's no real overarching cause that could lift them out of this because they're wanting. What do they want? They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to have regulations. They want their freedom to be evil as you can be. If you can get away with it, you should be able to get away with it. What Trump is offering them, the get out of jail free cards. That's that kind of thing, but it's not working. So this is really a disintegration of this group of people, this band of grifters who it's just not working out the way they thought it was going to work out. Where Trump was going to be a shoo-in. They thought Trump was going to just easily win, which I don't believe was true at all. But that was when Biden was running, and they really, they had the media on their side every single day talking about how old he was and how could barely get out of bed. But at the same time, what a monster he was, all that contradictory stuff. And they really thought that, Trump being 2 years younger than Biden, that somehow that was made him the young stallion. And, but anyway, they knew it was ridiculous. They're weaving this narrative. But here, all of a sudden, comes Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And my God, it's like, there's a huge shift in public opinion, and the media can't really seem to control it. So the clarification card here, this is interesting. This is the King of Swords, and this is actually Putin. Putin, he's having all kinds of major cataclysms in Russia and Ukraine, because Ukraine has invaded the Kursk region of Russia, and instead of like just kind of making a foray, they're there, and they're not that far from Moscow, and they actually bombed Moscow with drones several days ago, and did some real damage. And it's not the way it's panning out for Putin is, the majority of the world is really on Ukraine's side, especially the Western world. But even Modi visited, who's from India. He visited Zelensky, and so perhaps that was an olive branch. Maybe Modi is seeing the the writing on the wall, because it looks more and more like Putin is his regime is going to collapse. But he's riveted on this election. It's like, look at him. He's just can't. He's fixated on it. He can't take his eyes off it, because that was his hope. That was what was going to save him, was that Trump was going to get elected again, and then the U.S. would take away their support, and then he could start having incursions. Maybe Trump would give him weapons, because the Russian army is so depleted. But no, that's not what's happening. And so I think that Putin uh, is in shock, even that his plans, because he was the master puppet maker. Pelosi has always said all roads lead to Putin. Putin's always in charge here of even our GOP, right? For the most part, or the Freedom Caucus, and Mitch McConnell, etc. Think about how powerful Putin has uh, been, how he's been able to infiltrate our country, and that's one for the history books that needs to be analyzed. How did that happen? Well, I think we're aware of how that happened, but the idea that you can try to attack a country and conquer a country by buying its politicians, literally, and putting in a Manchurian candidate in there, and that the fact that he actually did that in 2016. But fortunately, and what I see for the future through my guys, is that he was not successful in bringing down our democracy, even though he even had a coup, right? January 6th. And because Trump is not in power anymore, he's not able to be effective in the way that he was on the 6th. And, prior to that, building up to that, because the Biden administration is there, and they're looking, trust me, they're looking at all the states and all the shenanigans and the potential for, the cheating that the Trump did, to, try to eke out an electoral victory. Yeah, Biden's on it. Think about it. They're on that. So he doesn't have that in anymore, in that power. So then the result is death. And this is death of that whole years long attack on our government and incursion into our democracy by a foreign power who was able to recruit inside our country some evangelicals, uh, the Freedom Caucus, all the members of the U.S. that were in Russia for the 4th of July, MTG, Lauren Boebert, Comer, Jordan, uh, but these people are they're no longer going to be able to have that kind of sway and influence, because when Putin goes, and there's all kinds of talk about what's going to happen to Putin, but when Putin can no longer uh, give them money, pay for them, then they're gone. They're going to lose their power. So death. And Trump is so. I mean, if he had not run for president back in 2016, he probably still would have been able to have his brand. And I don't know, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so much under the spotlight. So all that, think about all the tax, um, uh, all the criming he's done that was from the past, that if he had not been in the spotlight, maybe he would still be under the radar. But he's killed it, and that's typical for Trump. Like everything Trump touches dies. He's shot his own ear off. He just done this to himself to end his own attempt at overturning our democracy, and being able to, and I'm going to show the Seven of Swords again, because this is always, to me, one of the meanings is, the fox in the hen house. That's the ultimate dream of a grifter like Trump and his cohorts like Bannon and Stone, and uh, the list goes on, but it's over, according to my guides. So that is my reading on Trump. And oh my goodness, this is so crazy if you think about it. So the card that is chosen by my guides today for us from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle, it's trust your gut feeling. And I think it's really important. Whenever I don't trust my gut, yeah, I always regret it. What about you guys? Okay, here we go. Let your heart lead you to who you are. Each person has been made for some specific work. The longing for that work has been put into the heart. We waste our energy designing and carrying out plans to become what we already are. And that's a poem by Rumi. The secret to having a successful life lies in having a combination of love and faith. Love is the power that makes us fearless to move forward. Faith develops perseverance in us. No matter how long it takes us, or the number of challenges that come along the path, it takes both love and faith to lead us joyfully to where we're going. This oracle brings grace to make you aware of the universe inside you. Reach for it by seeking experiences that would open new dimensions of reality to you. Discover what you genuinely care about, and make sure you are being true to what you find. When you completely focus on what you are doing and are fully immersed in it, you are in a state of flow. Being in flow makes work effortless, your creative power increases, and you will be inspired and more motivated from within. Oh, dear one, the way to open for you to see what is possible, the love you feel inside your heart, is what directs and guides you to where you have been programmed to go. You already hold the map to your treasures. Your heart is already awakened to divine love. By trusting and following it, you will be strengthening your capability to make decisions for your life. Soon you will discover your thoughts are seeds that will sprout and grow. You can break out of confinement and limitations and move beyond what others say you can't do. Mantra: I tell myself, I can. It is time to turn my big ideas into reality. I have faith in my vision and I believe in myself. Trust your gut feeling. Okay, you guys. Again, I always let people know that I am available for personal readings. I read on past, present, future, in this lifetime, past lives. I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. And I am a medium also. My information is below in the description box and at the end of the musical interlude that is coming up. Stick around for that if you want. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I love you guys. Take care, okay? And I will be with you next week.